We are providing only 20%, that is 6 to 8 articles, as a part of promotion. For remaining 80% current affairs video and general studies complete videos, please subscribe to our complete package. 4. India to go directly to Euro 6 fuel standards. GS Paper 3. Environment Conservation, Air Pollution Controlling Measures. Why recently in news? To curb vehicular pollution, India will go straight from Euro 4, or Bharat Stage 4, complaint petrol and diesel to Euro 6, BS6, fuel by 2020, says the oil minister. India is not going for BS5, or Euro 5, petrol and diesel, as there is not much difference between BS5 and BS6. India currently has BS3, equivalent of Euro 3 specifications, across the country, and BS4 in major cities. What are Bharat Stage Emission Standards? Bharat Stage Emission Standards are emission standards instituted by the Government of India to regulate the output of air pollutants from internal combustion engine equipment, including motor vehicles. The standards and the timeline for implementation are set by the Central Pollution Control Board under the Ministry of Environment and Forests and Climate Change. The standards, based on European regulations, were first introduced in 2000. Since October 2010, Bharat Stage 3 norms have been enforced across the country. In 13 major cities, Bharat Stage 4 emission norms have been in place since April 2010. These standards regulate the output of air pollutants from internal combustion engine equipment, including motor vehicles. It works on a two-pronged strategy, that is, reducing the sulfur content in fuel and augmenting some equipments which optimizes engine. India is following European emission norms with a time lag of 5 years. What are the emission standards that India has applied all over the country? Currently, BS4 auto fuels are being supplied in whole of northern India, covering J&K, Punjab, Haryana, Himachal Pradesh, Uttarakhand, Delhi, parts of Rajasthan and western UP. The rest of the country has BS3 grade fuel. From April 1, 2016, all of Goa, Kerala, Karnataka, Telangana, Odisha, Union Territories of Daman and Diu, Dadra and Nagar Haveli and Andaman and Nicobar will get BS4 fuel. The rest of the country will get supplies of BS4 fuel from April 1, 2017. The way forward. BS4 fuels contain 50 parts per million, ppm, sulfur, while BS5 and BS6 grade fuel will have 10 parts per million sulfur. This government reiterates its commitment to reducing carbon footprint. India has pledged to improve the carbon emission intensity of its GDP by 33 to 35% by 2030 from 2005 level. India also aims to create an additional carbon sink of 2.5 to 3 billion tons of carbon dioxide equivalent through additional forest and tree cover by 2030. Oil refineries will need to invest Rs 80,000 crore in upgrading petrol and diesel quality to meet cleaner fuel specifications by 2020. 5. With merchandise exports falling for an unprecedented 12th consecutive month in November, what are the steps being taken by government to prop up the exports? GS Paper 3. Indian Economy, Exports and Imports Policy. The steps being taken are: The center has called for a meeting of representatives of all the state governments for the first time, to expedite the notification of a separate foreign trade policy for each state. Government intended to push through infrastructure creation measures that can support exports. The union budget is likely to have a package for SEZs. To encourage domestic manufacturing, the budget would address the inverted duty structure, where the duty on inputs, raw materials, components is greater than that in the finished product, on several items, including on electronic hardware. The inverted duty structure leads to higher imports of finished products. Lowering of duties on inputs will rectify this anomaly, in turn benefiting local producers. Setting up of testing labs as well as cold chain infrastructure at ports and airports in partnership with the states. Service tax on overseas services, such as on testing products, advertisements and commission paid to agents availed by exporters may be removed. The government may also provide SOPs for manufacturers, producers, and not traders, particularly in sectors such as engineering, gems and jewelry, leather and textiles, barring apparels, within the framework of the foreign trade policy. What are SEZs? Special Economic Zones, SEZs, are the zones where business and trades laws differ from the rest of the country. Broadly, SEZs are located within a country's national borders. The aims of the zones include increased trade, increased investment, job creation and effective administration. To encourage businesses to set up in the zone, financially libertarian policies are introduced. These policies typically regard investing, taxation, trading, quotas, customs, and labor regulations. Additionally, companies may be offered tax holidays. The creation of special economic zones by the host country may be motivated by the desire to attract FDI. How India is trying to revive the existing SEZs. The SEZ revival package is likely to include incentives to investors, including those from overseas, to make use of the land and other facilities lying unused in the existing zones. Other SOPs may include removal, lowering of minimum alternate tax and dividend distribution tax on SEZs that was imposed in the 2012 budget. Also, permission for SEZ units to sell in the domestic tariff area, DTA, or domestic market, by paying the same duty as applicable to imports from countries with which India has a free trade agreement, FTA. SEZs, which are duty, tax-free enclaves, have to currently shell out regular duties for sales in the domestic market, making their products costlier when compared to imports from FTA partner countries that come in at zero or lower than regular duties.